Whether you're teaching 100% virtual, hybrid, or in person, there is one practice that you should be doing at least once a week. Hi, I'm Cindy. I'm a counselor and a teacher coach. And before I tell you what that one thing is, let me tell you a quick story. I have 3 students who happen to be siblings. One is in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And all 3 of them are just doing horrible in school. D's and F's, not logging in on time, disengaged, not doing what they have to do. Just something is going on. So what happened on our campus is what we started doing is that students that weren't doing well, we started to visit their home. We were doing home visits. And instead of talking about academics, we just take them a donut and we see how they're doing. Well, on this home visit of all 3 students, because they're all living together, when we get there, we find out that the students have just received some devastating news that their father has been given a year of life due to his liver, and obviously they are distraught. And Mom is sharing with us how she's having a really hard time making sure the kids log in on time. She's having difficult time making sure their assignments are done. And she mentioned one particular project that they had to do, a volcano project. And she said, you know, I knew it was coming up. And I said, we'll do it tomorrow. And tomorrow became a week. And a week became 2 weeks. And, you know, I feel like I totally understand. I mean, obviously, hearing some devastating news like that is going to impact you at your core. Your family is rocked. There is a lot going on. So my concern was, how did the students go all those weeks and we had no clue? What happened? What happened that we had no clue that it wasn't due to a lack of students just not being motivated or not wanting to do the work, but that there was something else going on? So what could the teachers have done different? What could they have done? Which leads me to the one practice that I think all teachers should be doing, which is checking in on your students at least once a week. And I'm not talking about checking in on them where you just ask them, how are you guys? Let me know how you're doing. But I mean in a way where it can be private, in a way where they can really tell you how things are going. So I want to share with you one way that you can do that, which is through a Google form. And this is the simple check-in that I have on my Google form. The student would write their name. I have a feelings wheel where they can now just click on how they're feeling. Do you need someone to talk to? Yes, no, not sure. And then, is there anything you want me to know? And I feel like that one spot where, is there anything you want me to know, is kind of vital. You want students to be able to feel like they can tell you something, right? They can share with you. And this is going to be so important because there's so many things that students are going through right now. And at least once a week, make it a practice to asking students in a way where they can tell you privately how they're doing. Now, if you want a copy of this exact survey that I just shared, I will put a link in the description and you can go ahead and use the one that I have, or you can create your own, but at least you have something to go off of. You can copy mine. So how can you use this survey? So there's a few ways that you can use it. I would suggest doing like a Monday check-in where you send the link to the students in the chat, they click on it, and it takes 15, 20 seconds to complete. The students let you know they're done, and then you can go through them throughout the day. You can do this every day, every morning. How are you? How are things? I mean, things change. In private chat in Zoom, you can also have students let you know on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? If they're a little bit younger, you can let them see images of emotions and let you know how they feel, even if it's colors, like do they feel green, ready to go? Do they feel red? Do they feel kind of angry? Just find a way for students to let you know how they're feeling. Maybe they could even text you how they're feeling. That's part of your routine, that you let me know how you're doing. So what if a student tells you that they are having a difficult time? Some teachers really freak out when a student says, yes, I'm having a really hard time. I don't know what to do. I'm lonely or I'm depressed. I feel anxious. It's okay to talk to them. It's okay to share with them your genuine concern of how you feel. So I know that some teachers want to quickly, as the counselor, they want to send them to me right away. And I always advise that that's not always the best practice, because the student's going to feel like you backstabbed them, like they trusted you with their most inner feelings or thoughts, and then you quickly turned them away and sent them to somebody else. Go ahead and talk to them. Find out what they're feeling. Sometimes it's just good to vent. And if they trust you that much to tell you what's going on, that means you're doing an awesome job. And they want to hear from you because you have a better connection. You talk to them day to day. So provide that guidance for them. It's okay. And sometimes we're going to find that there's some false positives. Sometimes students will say, yeah, I'm having a really hard time. And then as you talk to them, you'll realize oh, it was because the neighbor was really loud, or, kids come up with the craziest things of what really gets under their skin. So it's okay to talk to them about those things also. But if a student is having a very difficult time, like my students were, we have to be able to now find them the support, right? Reach out to the counselor, the school psychologist, or admin, or whoever it is at your site that provides them with that support, because that's what we're here for. So as a recap, do your weekly check-ins. They're going to be really important. There's been tons of things on the news that have said that the number of child abuse cases have diminished, and that's not because kids are not being abused. It's because kids are not in school, and we are the ones that are the reporters. We are the ones that see the students come in with new bruises that look suspicious. We're the ones that can see the demeanor change in a student. We're the ones that notice when a student is kind of isolating or not playing with their friends anymore, and we start probing and asking. And so it's going to be really important that now that we don't have that one-on-one face-to-face interaction, that we find other ways to find out how these students are doing. And remember, create a system, create some kind of routine where this is not just something you ask every once in a while. You ask it every Monday, or you ask it every Wednesday, and it's part of the routine that you do, when you play a morning song or whatever it is that your morning routine is. This is just going to be part of how you check in with your students and make sure that they're okay. So remember to hit subscribe if you found that this information was useful, and leave a comment below. I want to know how you're checking in with students. What are you doing to make sure that your students know that you're listening to them, and that you don't just care about their academics, but you also care about their well-being and them as a person? I want to hear about other ways that you can check in with your students. And as always, remember, we don't need to make students want to come to school. We need to create schools that students want to attend.